Hello everyone, welcome. Welcome to English with Shalini. And today we are going to discuss the Victorian Age, and its timeline is from 1837 to 1901. It is called Next Golden Age of Britain after Elizabethan Age. And we will discuss about the historical background. So this was the age of material developments, and there was huge improvement in the technology due to industrial revolution was going on there, and England was brimming with commercial energy and prosperity. So they showed their prosperity in their great exhibition of 1851 in Crystal Palace, where they displayed the manufactured goods of Britain. Now it was an age of contrast. So once there was prosperity, and there was a social injustice also. So social injustice was the order of the day, and conditions of poor was very worse, and social injustice was there. And writers like Charles Dickens and Elizabeth Gaskell talked about this social condition of England in their novels. And they talked about the social problems and sufferings of working class people. Now, there was a movement in this age called Chartism. It was a British working class movement which emerged in 1836. And here, what happened? The working class people demanded more changes and more improvement their life, and they demanded for rights to vote, equal electorate districts, and annually elected parliament. And this was the age of intellectual development also. A revolution in the scientific field was there. Charles Darwin on the origin of species was published in 1859, and it changed the viewpoint of the people. And this book talked about evolution and natural selection that resulted in clash between faith and reason. And this was the age of a great change. And these changes reflected on literature of the day. So literary features are social problem novels by Charles Dickens and Elizabeth Gaskell. They talked about the social conditions of England. Then there was a Victorian morality and revolt. One side there was writers like Tennyson who adhered to the Victorian morality. Then there were, in the other side, there were Thomas Carlyle, Matthew Arnold, and William Makepeace Thackeray, who satirized snobbishness of the Victorian age. Now, influence of science and religion. So it was the age of science, and there was a conflict between science and religion. And Darwin on the origin of species influenced works of Tennyson, Arnold, and Carlyle. Now it was age where the Oxford movement took place, and it was headed by young thinkers of Oxford University, and it was a religious movement against the current belief of Church of England, and it influenced many writers of the age. Now we will discuss about the novels. Novel became the most popular genre, and pe- papers of and the printing cost became very cheaper, and demands for the book increased. So novels became very popular. Now poetry also developed. Alfred Tennyson was a great poet, and he wrote upon the legends of King Arthur and Homer's books like Iliad and Odyssey. And his major works are Lotus Eaters, Ulysses, Lady of Shalott, Palace of the Art, In Memoriam, Idylls of the King. Now, Robert Browning. Robert Browning was known for his dramatic monologue. He has written for Firo Lover, Andrea del Sarto, Sodello, Bells and Pomegranate. He has written some poetry series and collection like Men and Women, Dramatic Personae. Now, Elizabeth Barrett Browning was a great writer, great poet, and she was wife of Robert Browning. And her major works are Cry of the Children, Sonnet from Portuguese. Now, Matthew Arnold. He was not just a poet; he was a critical writer. He was a critic, great critic, and his popular poems are Dover Beach, Empedocles on Etna, The Scholar Gypsy, and his popular critical works are essays in criticism, culture and anarchy, literature and dogma. Now, Dante Gabriel Rossetti, he was a painter, he was a poet, he founded the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. His major poem was Blessed Damozel. Now, Christina Georgina Rossetti. She was sister of G.D. Rossetti. Her famous poem was Goblin Market. Now, novelist. Novel was the very famous genre in the Victorian age, and Victorian novels was the novel of characters. And first important novelist was Charles Dickens. He wrote under the pen name Boz. His famous novels are Oliver Twist, Christmas Carol, David Copperfield, Hard Times, Tale of the Two Cities, Great Expectations. Now, William Makepeace Thackeray, he has written Vanity Fair, History of Henry Esmond. Now, George Eliot, she was a female writer and she wrote under the pen name Mary Ann Evans. And her famous novels are Adam Bede, Mills on the Floss, Silas Mariner, Middlemarch. Now Charlotte Bronte. Now these Brontes are Bronte sisters, and Charlotte Bronte wrote under the pen name Courier Bell, and she has written Jane Eyre, Villette, and Emily Bronte. Her pen name was Alice Bell, and she was known for her novel Wuthering Heights. Now Anne Bront. Her name was Anne, means actual name was Anne Bront, but she wrote under the pen name Acton Bell, and she has written Agnes Grey. Now Thomas Hardy, he was a great novelist, poet also, and he has set his semi-fictional region called Wessex. All his novels was that setting, and he has written Far from Maddening Crowd, Mayor of the Castle Bridge, Tales of the D'Urbervilles, Jude the Obscure. Now Lewis Carroll, his real name was Charles Ludwig Dodson, and he was known for his book Alice in Wonderland. Now Arthur Conan Doyle, he wrote four novels and 56 short stories of Sherlock Holmes. Now, prose writers. Thomas Carlyle coined the term condition of the England. His major work was Sartor Resartus. Now, Thomas Babington Macaulay, he was a British historian. He wrote Millet on the Indian education, history of England from the accession of James II, essay on Milton. Now playwrights, poetry was popular, novels was popular, but drama was not very much in vogue in that age. But Oscar Wilde was a great playwright, and he was an Irishman. His famous plays are Importance of Being Earnest, A Woman of No Importance, Salome, Lady Windermere's Fan, and Oscar Wilde has written a novel, Picture of Dorian Gray. He has written many short stories also, and he was great writer. Now this was Victorian age, and I have made detailed video on this age and many other ages. You can check the playlist. Thank you so much.